Okay, and we are going live.
All right. So welcome everyone for coming out tonight. We really appreciate it. I'm just going to go over the workshop structure real quick. It's going to be 30 to 45 minutes, so I won't keep you here too long. After introduction, I'm just going to go over a comparison of Photoshop and Photopea. And next, I'm going to design a banner, and then I'm going to retouch an image. Scarlett, do you want to introduce our club?
Yeah, for sure. So welcome everybody. We're really excited that you are here. So my name is Skyla and I'm your DSC lead. And Developer Student Clubs, we are affiliated clubs with Google and we basically run fun workshops for you guys. So exactly what's happening here. We run workshops on skill building. We also do networking events and we do some fun events as well. So all of these workshops that we do are to help you build your careers and to help you exceed and just do well in the world of comp sci and software engineering or anything to do with IT. So yeah, if you haven't already, please join our Discord and follow us on Instagram. And we post events usually once every 2 weeks, sometimes more frequently. And they're on various different topics. So there's going to be something for everybody.
All right. My name is Chetan Manaj. I'm also a learning and development lead for the DSC. I'm going to be going over the workshop today. So the software we're using is photopea.com, and the reason I like it is because it's cheaper than Photoshop by a lot, and it's very similar to Photoshop, but it's more advanced. So I'm going to do a side-by-side comparison. This is what Photopea looks like. And if I were to pull up Photoshop, sorry, give me a second. Okay, give me a second. Takes a while to open up because it's very hard on the computer. Oh, here we go. So yeah, so this is the actual Photoshop version from Adobe, and this is what we're using today. This I have because my brother school has Adobe for free for all students, but this is what we're using right now. So let me just exit that. You can see the features. The bar right here looks very similar to the bar over here. And all these tabs, file, edit, layer, select. It's also very similar. So without further ado, I'm gonna get on to the workshop. And I have a Google Drive link if you guys want to use to follow along. I just paste it in the chat. And all the pictures I'm using are from there. Okay. So let's start this thing. By the way, if you guys have any questions, feel free to stop me. Or if you want me to slow down, I can do that also. The first thing we're going to do is go open a new project, call a new project, and we're going to make it 1,000 by 1,000. We're just going to get a blank canvas over here. And what we're trying to do is recreate the banner for this workshop, which I have right here. So I'm trying to recreate it very roughly. So I'm just going to have this text and a circle and our logo. The first thing I'm going to do is put on some text right here. And I'm just going to write intro to Photoshop workshop. So once you go here, you can change the font to anything you want. It might take a while to load, but they have a lot of fonts that we can use. I'm just going to use deja vu stance for now, and then make it bold. So you press enter, go to the select tool, and bring it to the middle. And I spelled it wrong, so I'm just going to double click the T again. And we're done. So going back to it, I think it's in a similar position. Yeah, close enough. So the next thing I'm going to do is add a new layer and make a shape. So that shape you use from this tool right here. You select the ellipse. And after making the fill whatever you want, I'm going to make it red. You just drag and drop. Sorry, this has to be shaped. There we go. We don't need this layer. And I'm going to resize it using, after I press enter, I press Control T on the shape layer. And I can move it around after Control T, and I can make it bigger, just like that. Another cool trick that I can do is open and place a logo. So what I'm trying to do now is open this logo that I have saved. I just press open and place. Logo. And I can let that go right here. So these layers right here, if one is on top of the other one, that means it can overlap. So if you want the circle behind the logo for whatever reason, you will need to have the layer behind the logo layer like that. But since we're not messing with that for now, we're just going to do a text. It's called November 12th, 7 p.m. Eastern. And I'm going to make it small and have it be regular font.
Can you show how to make the logo again? Or how to import it?
Yeah. So you just go to File, Open and Place, and you select it from your file list, and you press Open, and it shows up. So I'm going to delete that layer, and this is our November 12th layer. I'm going to press OK. That looks okay for now. Another feature we can do with layers is we can group them together. The easiest way to do that is by using the folder. I can call this text. In the text, I can put this, drag it and drop. Drag and drop. So when you move text around, you move everything around. So if I were to move these two, I just select text. And I can move both of them around together. So that's all we're gonna do for the banner, and we're just gonna move on to the picture now. So for a new project, again, I would open a new file in this case, because I'm just going to be editing the picture. And I'm going to pick my picture, which is this guy that I got from pexels.com. So when you go to this website, they're all royalty-free pictures that you can use. So any of these pictures you can just select and save, and they'll be free to use most of the time. So if you want stock images, this is a really good website to go for, which is where I got this guy right here. All right, so now for the more complicated part, I'm going to try to edit his background. And to do that, there's a few tools that I can use. The first one would be the magic wand. So the magic wand tool would select one color, and it would you can erase that color. So it selected this color scheme over here. If I select this, it selects this. If I select this right here, it selects the blue. Black, it would do the black. But as you can see, wherever we click isn't really working. So this tool is not going to work. The other tool that we can use is the background eraser. So you can try, you can press Ctrl-Alt-Delete to deselect. You see background eraser doesn't work either. It doesn't pick up what's the background. There are some cases where these tools could work, but in this case, it doesn't. So the one we are going to use is the magnetic lasso. Okay. So for the magnetic lasso, you just click one point and then you just drag your mouse up carefully. I'm trying to just crop out the picture with just him. So I can replace the background with something else. In Photopea, there's really no way to undo it if you mess up. That's why I'm trying to concentrate a little bit. On Photoshop, you can undo it, but as of now, I can't. So after you do the loop, I'm not going to go around under, I'm going to go around over. So I'm just going to do something like this. Get a nice loop going. See that? Okay. After I have the selection, I press backspace. And now we can use that eraser tool. I would make the brush a lot bigger. And then eraser. Oh, I forgot to press Ctrl-D. Because of this selection right here, I can't do anything yet. So after I press Ctrl-D, I can start erasing. So for parts like this, you hold Alt and you go up on your mouse wheel to zoom in. Then you can make your brush a lot smaller so you can get these parts down carefully. Don't worry about the imperfections too much. We're going to get to them later. For now, I'm just going to do it a little bit rough. Still try to get in a certain level of detailing. I think I missed this part. This part right here. Yeah, let's do this. I'm gonna make this a lot smaller again. I think that's fine for now. Here, I'm gonna make smaller. Okay. I think overall, it looks okay. Okay. Once you're done that, to make a background, the easiest way would be just to make a new layer and make a shape. So to make a rectangle with a certain fill, you can do a gradient if you want. New rectangle and move him up. So as you can see, he's in a different background. Okay. The next thing we're gonna do is get rid of this little piece of little acne right here. The way to do that is you use this tool called the clone stamp, where you would just replicate a piece of the image. First of all, make it really small. This is the imperfection right here. You would replicate the place holding Alt. When you hold Alt, you get this cross, and that cross is the target where you're going to be replicating from. So you click on your target, and you bring your cursor over here, and you erase it. So I'm going to put it back because I want to duplicate this, because I want to see what type of changes I made. So I'll do it again. Target here, and I cover up. And that's it. So to see the difference, right here, this part is gone right here. And from the bigger picture, it's a little bit more obvious. I don't know how good my video quality is, but that whole imperfection is completely gone. Okay. Now for part number 2, we're gonna delete this layer and put an actual background, which I'm gonna open in place again. And that one's gonna be the city that I had in my Google Drive. So the city I can move around and make a little bit bigger. So I'm gonna hold Shift, zoom out, and size it. Put it right in the middle. So right now the background is a little bit too busy. And a good way to get rid of that is using the blur tool. So if you want to just blur the background, you would take out the guy from using the eye tool. You would go here, up the pen, blur tool. Make it a really big size. Say okay to this. We're going to blur it. The more times you run this over, the more blurry it becomes. As you can see, this part is a lot blurrier than this part. Control Z to undo it. Just going to do an even blur going everywhere. And then put them back. So still, even here, you can see some parts are just too sharp. For example, this right here. There's a lot of imperfections going on. And yes, you can use the eraser on the right layer to erase it off. But another tool you can use is the smudge tool. So if you don't want to bother with these lines, if you don't want to use the eraser, you can smudge the background into it. So what you can do is do something like that. With the smudge tool. Yeah, to make this not as sharp, the easiest way to do it would be to use the smudge tool. As you can see, this place, this arm right here looks a lot better than it did before, but this is still a bit rough. So you can smudge using more strength, or even less strength to be more imperfect. You can use the eraser again to do some more retouching. When you're doing the eraser, there's also an option to make it a soft eraser. If you do a hard eraser, you would just end up cutting it sharp. But if you do it softer, you can cut in with more of more pixels laying around that has a gradient going out to it. It's a good way to not end up with sharp edges. Yeah. So my eraser is a little bit too big right now. The more complicated thing that I would want to do is remove this right here, this bit of acne. But I don't know if you can see this light shining right here. So because of that, if I were to clone stamp, I would have to make sure I clone stamp the lighting as well as the skin. So I'm going to try to do it. It might not turn out great, but we'll see. So holding Alt, I create my target, click, and then just brush over. See how that looks. So lighting goes this way. I think it's about done in this line. So I'm going to move over to here. What we want to get rid of is this one dark pixel right here. And the 3 darker pixels. And there you go. I think it's a decent edit. I'll turn on the other one so you can see. So this is our original picture. And you can see the arm with the arrow. You can see the arm with all the sharp edges. There's sharp edges over here. He has this one piece of acne here, one right here. And after I reveal my final product, this is gone, this is gone. The arm does need a bit of fixing. Actually, no, it doesn't. Yeah, the picture looks okay. Right here, I could take out some eraser stuff with the back of the copy. Just some remnants of our old background. If he was standing in front of a green screen, this would be a lot easier, but that's not always realistic. Gonna get rid of these. It's always a good idea to leave some imperfections behind and not edit them. Because sometimes there is a thing as a picture being too edited. For example, if someone were to use a clone stamp tool to get rid of his pores, for example, it could end up in him having too smooth skin. And too smooth is also never good because it's unnatural, right? So you'd never want to go that route. Other than that, I think the picture is okay. Does anyone have any suggestions on what we can do? Guess I can remove this. Okay. I think it looks just fine. So let's compare it. This guy right here, he has a lot of sharp outlines that we fixed. He still has these 2 acne spots right here. And the hair is a little bit messed up. Outlines here, remnants here. And with our edit, it's a lot cleaner. He doesn't have acne here, no acne here. This part would be a little bit hard to get rid of It's in my opinion, I think it's better to leave it natural, because to edit all of this, you need to transition it to the pores over here, make a line with the lighting, and then replicate here. We should make it leaving unnatural and robotic, and it would look too edited. So we don't want to do that. Other than that, I think it's a good improvement from our original picture. So yeah, that's about it. Does anyone have any questions regarding the material? You can also save these pictures if you want to, using, if you want to edit again, you can save as a PSD and then open as a PSD. Or if you just want to save it as a picture to send to your friends, you would save as a JPEG or a PNG. Save and you have it downloaded. So let's do a side-by-side comparison. There we go. If no one has any questions, we're past the 30-minute mark, so I think you're all free to go. Again, thank you for coming out. This is very fun to teach, and it's something I'm passionate about. So if you want to learn more about it, you can always look up YouTube tutorials on Photoshop, but then you don't have to use Photoshop. You can use this website right here, and that'll help you enhance your photo retouching skills. And yeah, that's it. Thank you for coming out.